And this isn't easy because I've already trimmed this. And this isn't easy because I've already trimmed this at a bit of an angle. So a fresh blade always helps, and thankfully MDF actually does cut quite well with a scalpel. So there we go, just take a sliver off. Well, MDF actually does cut quite well with a scalpel. So there we go, just take a sliver off. You see, I've just taken shaving off. It's not as accurate as it would be if it was a proper mitre saw. Hello little Miss Me, how are you doing? So this is where it gets a little bit tricky, and I'm going to try and commit to gluing. There's going to have to be a certain amount of filling done as I join these two together, because it doesn't marry up perfectly. I mean, at the bottom it's going to be hidden with another part of the building, but towards the top it's not. Mind you, that's not a bad fit. It isn't if I squeeze it forward. Mind you, if it's more square. Now, if you were on the live earlier, I was attempting to remake the tower, but I've decided it wasn't going so well, so I'm going to go back with my original one, which I have here. I've just sanded the offending flat bits more curved. I think it'd be fine once I've got some paint on it. Now, the trick part on here is getting far enough back so you can see what's going on. What I want to try and do now is get a little bit of solidity to it and get some pieces glued together. This is pretty much done now, barring a little bit of sanding and some recolouring. But it's going to be easier for me to work once it's all fully together. So it's just, I think I just need to commit to putting it together. But one thing I need to do is try and work out which way these windows are pointing. Alright, go and do your errands, little Miss Me. So before I glue that tower in place, I just need to refer to my photograph and figure out the angle of the tower, which way it's pointing. So just a minute, I'll find a photograph. My computer's on a go slow. Lots of photographs, but can I find the angle that shows where the tower's pointing? I haven't got my glasses on either, so I can't see a thing. Okay, so it's more pointed towards the street. Here's the answer. You can see there. So I need to angle my tower so it's more that way. First thing we're going to do is glue this in place. But I think my nozzle is blocked. Hate it when you get a blocked nozzle. Not that there's actually much glue left in this. I prefer the thicker stuff for bigger joints. There we go. Right, this is just a scrap piece that I'm going to use as a bit of a gable piece, but it's not quite the right thickness, so I just need to run a 2mm strip down the inside. I'll put a spacer in for now until I can find one. I've got a scrap here I can use. Oops, slipped. This is a surefire way of blunting blades quickly. Oops. And slipping if you're not using a ruler. I did originally glue some card in there which I don't need anymore. What's up, yeah? What did I say? What What am I making? I'm making a scale replica of a customer's house. It's actually a little French chateau in the south of France. Just doing a little bit of internal structuring at the moment. And it helps if I have the tools I need to hand very quickly. It's an impromptu set square because I can't find the one I want right now. Because it's on the other side of it's on the other side of the wall over there. Come on. Let's glue, please. Not gluing tonight. Sorry about my arm being in the way. So this is actually quite big, so it's not that easy to get the whole thing on camera. Where's my spray? On the other side of my arm. Not got much of this left now, so I'm going to have to get some more. Don't worry about the distant rattling. It's fine. And that was me clanking the camera. Okay, now these need a little spacing because I just mismeasured slightly. I just use some scraps of 2mm MDF. That can just fit in behind. It's just a structural element, so it's not the end of the world. Get there eventually. I think that actually needs a little bit of trimming, so I might just leave that for the moment. He says. metal. Just excuse me, I'm going to use this offcut here that was a mistake and use it to create another structural piece. Thank you for the heart, by the way. I forgot to drink my tea. What I'm going to do is just use this scrap. Create another template. I'm just going to do it by hand as opposed to a laser cut piece because it's tricky to reuse this. It was a failed attempt at marking the gables out before I realised that I needed to redraw it. So what I'm going to need to do is line that up against there and cut out a new profile. That one's got some holes in it because that was, like I say, it was the wrong angle. That would help if it's actually sat in the right place. Try that again. Just double check which line that is. It's the bottom line. It's actually the top line, so it is a good job I checked. This was just a strip of cardboard earlier to help mark out where the roof went, but we don't need it anymore. I'd replace it. But I just want to hold that in place to work out where I'm going to glue this. But nah, let's have a rethink. I can actually glue that packing strip straight on. And now I'm actually going to need to shave a little bit off that because it's a little bit wrong. So this is the marked difference between a nice crisp laser cut finish and knife and ruler. It's sometimes also all too easy to cut at a slight angle when you don't really intend to. Hey Georgie, yes, sorry, I'm sorry, I'm a little bit slow on reading messages tonight. It's not been too bad. I've been out playing football this evening. And all of a sudden I'm just really, really tired. Hi Lynn, yes, making progress. I'm trying to get some pieces glued together tonight, just so it looks a bit more. It's a fine line between fitting it on screen and showing you what I'm doing. Keep nibbling away at that. I just want to make sure that they're the same profile for when I stick the roof on, because otherwise they'll not line up. I know the feeling, Dave. I know the feeling. Right, let's go ahead and glue this scrap bit on. I just need it to increase the length because I've not allowed for the correct thickness of the wall here. It's actually 2mm and it's more like 4. And if anybody can see my glue, that will be very handy. It's up there. It's funny, it's almost like welding this sometimes. Or soldering. It's almost like soldering with super glue, because it kind of gets to a point where all of a sudden it just sets hard, and that's with the addition of the word I can't think of. Activator spray. There we go. I just need an additional support right in here, but I don't want to go over that line. It's hard to get the set squaring because it's too big. The square's too big. I think that's square. Certainly up and down it is. Oh, that's just wasted a load of spray on my hand. Trying to work out whether this is in the right place or not now. I'm just thinking it might need to go back a little bit. Which means pulling that gable back out. Every time I think I might have nearly got it, it just worries me that I haven't. Yeah, I'm going to take that back out again, as much that it pains me. I just need to tuck this back slightly. Unfortunately, it's going to mean just taking a bit of this base out. Sometimes it's not that easy to work out in 2D, and you have to wait until it starts being assembled to figure out how it's going to come together. It's a shame that, because that would have been nicely worked. But as it is, I'm just going to cut this little section out at the base. Nice big utility blade would have been better for this rather than a scalpel. I do actually run the risk of cutting myself if it snaps or slips. I'm glad I didn't commit to gluing straight away. At least not the tower anyway. I can juggle about with the internal structures, but the tower I can't. Indeed, yes. We've put that in the wrong place. Just come and I'll just come and move it. You would not believe the struggle I've had to try and get this in the right place. I think that's about right now. It's kind of, you know, if you were to imagine a medieval like turret on a castle, the turret would be sort of like dead centre. If your castle walls were like that, but the turret would sit right on the centre. But this turret just starts curving out from the horizontal, and it's quite tricky to try and work that out. The only clue that I've got that it does that is the fact that this bit of ornamental moulding, which I'm going to have to carry on, carries onto that flat slightly and then tapers off. So if it was to be more out like this, then that wouldn't do that. It wouldn't taper, it'd just stop abruptly. So the fact that it sort of tapers onto it suggests that it's only just sticking out of the wall. So once I commit to that, I can just glue that in, hold it in place, then I will fill the gap and add some new, or continue that little bit of moulding over, which I've cut off from something else. Like I say, I'm just going to commit to that and then try and blend the next wall into it. Of course, I'm so invested in doing this, I forgot to drink my tea again. This is the reverse of the piece that I did last night. I don't know if you saw it clear enough, Raymond, but that's the ornamental stone structure that we've started working on. That is going to blend onto that wall there in the same way, but I just need to move it back a little bit and also work out where that, I think I need to just trim a bit off here. Not going to be a great live to watch back, this one, actually, because there's an awful lot missing off the screen. I really need to get a better tripod. Doesn't make sense. Yeah, I think I've got just enough curve. It's not quite flat. Oops, can't get the angle, can I? It's not quite flat here. It's the different angles you see, because it's curving out here just from straight, but there's a little bit of moulding on the top here that just carries on onto the flat, just a little bit. So that bit there will just carry on over. I'll just cut a little bit more of that moulding just so it carries on into there by about that much. And then the next building that's on it, I can't find a suitable scrap that's big enough, but there will be another bit of building here that will just cut into that turret, sort of sloping, kind of like that. It will just cuts into the turret there. So there's a little bit, it's not that easy to see on camera, but there's a little bit that slopes just there. say, looking at the only overhead photograph that I've got access to on Google Earth, it doesn't actually show much, but that's not very distinct either. But if you can just see on this angle here, you've got a flat wall that then just blends into the turret, so it doesn't actually come out by a lot. But that bit there is a bit of stone moulding that comes along the flat, and then if you can see where the edge of the turret is there, it comes into the curve quite a bit, but it's coming in straight, so that suggests that the turret is quite far into the flat. So there's only a little bit of difference here. You can see the curve of the roof there where it accommodates the curve of the turret, and then it doesn't actually come out too much before it goes flat again down the other elevation. I've not got enough room on my desk for all the scraps to actually put it out, but I think that's about right. I need to tidy that up a bit. But the next piece that I make, I need to adjust that slightly so that it blends into the wall better. And that's why I needed those gables in place, so I could try and work out where the roof joins. So now that's in, I can just glue this back in. I think it might have been more sensible to do this way around in the first place. Of course, now I need to just stick another piece of bracing on the inside to accommodate that gable wall. And because you're not going to see it, it doesn't really matter what I stick in. It is a beautiful place indeed. I've been lucky that I've had two absolutely gorgeous houses to make in a row, both completely different. Now somewhere I had a little mock-up of the roof space, the roof angle, which would really help me right now. Just see if I can find it. I really need to have a tidy up in here. Bear with me a sec, guys. this has changed considerably since I made this template part. I'm going to need to hack out a lot more. The beauty of it is it's just a template, so I can sort of blend into it if I need to. That didn't make sense either, did it? And so if I end up with it too hacked, I can cut some, or stick some pieces of masking tape along it to create a better template before I cut the real thing. So it's just going to use hacking. Until I get it right. It's almost, but not quite. It's now just a bit long now. I've revised it. Can't find my ruler again. Oops. Teach me to do it freehand. Slipped. And you can tell my blade's very blunt because it's not cutting through masking tape. You can also tell I'm really tired now because I've just stuck that to the inside as opposed to the outside as opposed to the inside. Just going to stick this roof template on, and I think I'm going to call it a night tonight because unfortunately I have a splitting headache right now, and I think it's affecting my concentration. So it's probably better to call it a night whilst I'm still not making mistakes. Or as many. Yeah, I can feel it coming in. I've got a really throbbing headache. Well, I was trying to battle through it, but it's having it. I'll show you a better angle. This is what we've got so far. So we're starting to take shape across this wall here with the turret. Obviously I need to do a lot of filling around this area here to get the template of the roof sorted. But what I'll do to that is I can just use little bits of cardboard, not cardboard, see, this is where the tiredness creeps in. I can just fill in around there with some masking tape, just sort of wasting a load, just blending in with flat pieces until we've got the shape, and then I can transfer that to a better bit of card. And just keep going around. It's kind of like creating a curve but with lots of straight lines. Right, like I said, I'm going to call it a night there. We're nearly worked out there, and then we'll carry on again tomorrow when I've got off with it. Right, so thank you for watching tonight, guys, and I will see you all again tomorrow, hopefully.